Miami is a game away from playing for a national championship, a home game for a national championship, mind you. In Miami, they found their way into the college football playoff on Selection Sunday with the old switcheroo between them and Notre Dame, which was the right call for the record here. And I just want to make sure we say this for the folks that are watching Miami at home for the first time or just paying attention to the number next to their name when it comes to their seeding. Miami is not a Cinderella story by any stretch of the imagination. I'll tell you what I mean right now before we do that. They'll make sure you are subscribed. Hurricane fans, if your team plays for a national championship, we're going to be there. Regardless, we're going to be in Miami, so go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to keep up with all the content here going forward. But if you're a college football sicko, you love this thing with every fiber of your being, or you just want to get in the comment section and make fun of your boy for picking against the Canes against Ohio State, more power to you. Just make sure you're subscribed when you do so. We appreciate y'all in advance for getting that done. So I'll talk about the playoff stuff here in a second, but I want to start with the Cristobal of it all. Remember when you hired him away from Oregon? Of course you do. It's a great day probably, right? Hey, we got a guy who gets this place. We got a guy who's going to recruit. Sure, he's going to bring juice and physicality, but we got a guy who not just like gets Miami. He's been a part of it when it's not Miami, but when it's the U. That was one thing that I kept saying when they hired him. Hey, you got a guy who gets the U. You know what I'm talking about. Swagger, pride, intensity, all the intangibles that make Miami a little bit different than other places. Cristobal majors in those things. And not just that he majors in those things in the sense that he did it other places and that's all well and good. Like, he was a part of those teams. He was a part of what Miami was when they were the U. He grew up in Miami. Like, all these things made him the right fit, but now you're seeing it realized several years later. You stuck to the script, and now, again, you're a game away from playing for a national championship. Miami was never what scared the college football world. The U was. And the reason why it should and is and will be scary here, I think, for years to come, look at where Miami is geographically. You know where I'm going with this. They're in the Sunshine State. They're in the most talent-rich state in all of America when it comes to recruiting high school talent. We've said this for years. If any one of those big three between Miami, Florida, and Florida State is able to kind of snatch the crown definitively as the school in the state and can pitch that on the recruiting trail, here we freaking go now. Because I promise you, a lot of these dudes in that state are looking for a reason to stay home. I mean, heck, Jeremiah Smith said it to our very own Ari Wasserman leading into the media days for the Cotton Bowl. He's like, yeah, I probably would have gone to Miami out of high school had things been on the right track over there. Had they been what they are right now, maybe I would have gone to Miami. Like, guys want to stay in the state of Florida, and they just need a place to do it at. They need a school to do it at. It's playing at the highest level and is going to go produce NFL draft picks. Y'all, that's what Miami is right now. Like, the whole U back, not back, however you want to phrase it, the U is definitely in place, I think, here for years to come, as long as Cristobal is your head coach. So going back to this idea of them being like a Cinderella, according to some folks, you look at that seed and say, oh, well, they're the 10 seed. Good for them being in the semifinals. That's awesome. They must have kind of just caught fire March Madness style, right? No. This is very, very far from anything you see during the month of March where a future accountant catches fire from three and then he has a big, tournament. They crush all the way to the Elite Eight or the Final Four, and then a few weeks later, he's on LinkedIn announcing that he's excited to accept a position with insert whatever financial firm you want to next. That's not Miami. Miami is just one of the most, if not one of the most talented teams left in this tournament. And y'all, when they got to 12-2 in this whole thing, when they got in that final field, you can make a case that Miami was as talented as anyone else in the tournament to begin with. Like, this is the big dog becoming the big dog at the right time. This is not getting hot at the right time. This is not getting hot from three. This is not finding your mojo and having like a Slumdog Millionaire run. This is Miami doing what they were always capable of doing. What you saw in September. What's interesting about Miami and the way they were discussed in the college football public, we hit on this a few times, but I want to say it again. I think their reputation kind of got lost in the sauce from that Louisville loss and the SMU loss. Because here's the deal. Most people didn't really watch those games. I'm just going to be real. Most people didn't watch the Friday night game where Carson Beck throws 4 picks. They just saw that logo, that record, Miami, they lost, fraudulent, end of story. SMU, same deal. They didn't talk about how it went to overtime and this, that, and the other. They said Miami lost, SMU not that great, fraudulent. 2 quote-unquote bad losses. Okay, so it was never, is Miami talented enough to win these games? Miami, if this version of Miami played Louisville and SMU tomorrow, hypothetical game, obviously, but I feel pretty good in taking Miami with the points there. It was always about, are they trustworthy enough? in the college football playoff. That was what we said here for a long time. Listen, I like Miami's roster. I like Carson Beck. I don't know if they're going to play to their elite talent or they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. Carson Beck's going to give the football away 3 times, and we'll say, man, Miami lost to a lesser team because they beat themselves. It's not copium. That's just, quite frankly, what the fact of the matter is with Miami. So Miami is playing their best ball at the right time in some respects, in the sense that they're playing the most mistake-free football of their season, in my humble opinion, at the most important time. So if I'm a Miami fan now, again, you're a game away from playing for a national title at home. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But honestly, if I'm a Miami fan, or I'm Mario Cristobal or anyone involved in that program, I think I sleep pretty okay at night, because what Miami has evolved into is a team that truly bends a game to their style and their will. And the college football playoff run they've been on is proof of that. Miami hasn't just beaten a G5 team here and a team that wasn't supposed to be in the playoff in the second round. Like, Miami beat, so far, I think, 2, conservatively speaking, top 15, top 10 quarterbacks in college football, 2 top 10, top 15 offenses in college football, and they made both those games gross, messy, trench warfare kind of games. Held Ohio State to 14 points. I mean, A&M didn't score a touchdown. Like, Miami, with the line of scrimmage play they have and their physicality, they bent those games to their will. So is Ole Miss going to be a different test in and of itself? Absolutely. But Miami, I think with the wins they had and the proof of concept they had right now, I think they got to feel real good about dictating terms here going forward. Now, this isn't me giving a game prediction right now. I just want to make sure that's said out loud. Miami is very much so experienced in tilting games in their favor stylistically. Now, here's the last thing I'll say, and this is, I think, maybe the most terrifying thing about the Hurricanes here the rest of the way. Both of the wins they got in A&M and Ohio State, I get the sense watching how they acted after those games that those weren't like emotional wins to the degree of we left a piece of ourselves in College Station, left a piece of ourselves in Dallas. We emptied the tank, and now we're just willing ourselves through in this playoff run. I think those were kind of wins that, while they're still very emotional, I think Miami took something when they left College Station and brought it with them to Dallas. A little bit extra juice, confidence, swagger. I talk about the cauliflower ear of college football. They've been in a fight, won that fight, got the cauliflower ear to show for it. The Ohio State win, I think the same thing. I think it probably, if anything, bolstered their confidence, their bravado, their swagger. Y'all, we just beat A&M and Ohio State. We don't care who you are. Spot the freaking ball. We'll play you in the parking lot. We'll play you in the garage. We don't care. We'll play you anywhere. It doesn't have to be a parking structure. It could be any given place. I think Miami would play you. You hear what I'm saying. The physicality and the overall just competitive temperature of Miami right now, that's what this college football playoff is about, quite frankly. I believe in a year and a few games into this 12-team format, there is something to be said for thinking you're the baddest on the block and having your best football at the right time. That was Ohio State last year. I think that's Miami right now. So what does the story finish like? Do they beat Ole Miss and advance to the national championship game? We'll freaking see. But understand now, there is nothing Cinderella-ish about Miami. This was always who they were capable of being, the big dog, just being the big dog here, and a game away again from playing a national championship game in Miami. All right, so Kane Smith on the 1s and 2s, myself, J.D. Paquel. Get at us in the comment section. Let us know your prediction for that game against Ole Miss when they line it up in the Fiesta Bowl. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.